Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a review of the TT Combat City Scenics corpses and body parts. This is not a paid for advertisement or sponsored in any way. I saw these on a link on Facebook and I thought I'd order some for myself to enhance my games of The Walking Dead from Mantic Games. So what do we know about them here? So what we do is we get 12, I think it's 12, yeah? So yeah, there's 12 resin parts in here, which is a combination of bodies and body parts. They come in a nice little clamshell here, which is actually quite easy to open. So we'll tip these out and see what we've got. So inside this, there's 12 resin models. We have 9 which are kind of complete bodies and 3 which are just kind of body parts or torsos or just feet there. The detail's pretty good on them actually. It's not bad just for kind of just for a little bit of scenery. So we have a look at this one here. You can see how it's kind of got its guts and that hanging out from the inside. The face looking a little bloated there, and the hands have been chewed away. You can see that the bottoms of them are flat, so they sit quite nicely on your table. From a kind of mould lines and bits of flash, there doesn't appear to be any major mould lines. There is a bit of flash that needs clearing out, so you can see here on the inside in between the legs. But there's nothing particularly, maybe a little bit of cleanup around the edge there. You can see again here as well. But nothing too serious, nothing you wouldn't expect from any other kind of resin models. Details on the face, again, quite good. Some gunshot wounds there in the chest. But yeah, overall not too bad quality. I'm relatively happy with these. I paid $5.99 for these, and I got free shipping along with some other things that I bought as well. But the one thing I would say is that the scale is probably a little bit off. So if we compare, we have Patrick here from the Walking Dead miniatures, and then we have the scale of the dead bodies. You can see kind of height-wise, they're not too bad. But when it comes to actual sort of features, I know Patrick's meant to be a little bit of a muscular guy, but the difference in the arms and the hands, and let's have a look. I think there's one that has a better head shape, so we can see. Yeah, kind of. So you can see the size of the heads. There is some quite major differences in scale. Now, if we're using these as kind of as proxies or for new survivors for the game, I'd be a little bit more worried. However, I think just for scattered terrain around the board, they're not too bad. What I'll do is I'll set up a small board just so you can see them and draw your own conclusions. Okay, so I've just set it up very quickly there, just a couple of models and on the board just so you can see how it looks. And as I mentioned before, the scale is off a little bit. I think there's no getting away from that. The models are very thin, and even the bloated model, this one here, the head looks quite small in comparison. However, as scattered terrain around your board, I think it'll really add to the atmosphere of the game. And again, they look more, I would say, the bodies look like they're quite sort of dehydrated and withered a little bit. This one's been all chewed up, so it's fair to say that actually you wouldn't necessarily expect to see a lot of muscle and tone on them. But there's no getting away from the heads are quite small. Overall, not too bad. If you want to add a little bit to your game, yeah, I'd definitely recommend picking some up. But just to be aware that they're definitely more of a 25 to 28 mil scale rather than a 28 to kind of 30 mil heroic scale. Okay, guys, what I'll do is I'll just set them up so I can get a shot of all the different types you get, and you can see exactly what you're getting inside the box. So the first one looks like a young sort of teenager. There's 3 bullet wounds through the chest there. He's got his hood up on a hoodie, pair of sort of trainers on, and looks kind of freshly killed, I would say. Another one here. So there's definitely some evidence of Walker's been having a bit of a chew on this one there, with a broken leg, a bit of bone sticking out, and again, kind of a young guy there. Heads are relatively small, I would say. Even the heads look a little bit out of scale with the bodies, but not to the point where I wouldn't recommend buying them. We've then also got a downed soldier here. So looks like he's been trying to make a grab for something. But yeah, in his combat gear, and again a little bit of flash there just to tidy up. Next up we've got that the body that's a little bit bloated and being ripped open, so plenty of opportunity there for painting a bit of blood and guts and some gore. If I'm honest, it looks a little bit like Donald Trump. Let's get a bit closer to the camera. There's definitely an opportunity to paint Donald Trump there, I think, if you're that way inclined. We've then got another one of the soldiers, so exactly the same pose as the one before. Just put them two side by side so you can see them. So two of those. You then got a female model here that she appears to have a hair kind of over her face, but the chest area and the legs has definitely been ravaged, and there's a hand missing there as well. There is then also, looks like another female character who's kind of has a bit of a torn and ragged skirt there. Seems to be holding onto something on her stomach, and again looks like she's been chewed on a little bit. We've then got a body that again looks like the stomach area is being ripped open, the knees have been clawed at, and he's grabbing onto that baseball bat for all he's worth. Unfortunately, he wasn't worth much because the head's gone now. And then we have a couple of these models that are kind of sort of cowering away, curled up. You can definitely see the rib cages coming through, and the legs are very, very thin there. And again, I think this is kind of why I think the scale for it all being a little bit off can potentially be forgiven a little bit. These look like they've been a little bit malnourished rather. They've probably been hiding out somewhere. So I'm sure we can make your own little stories up to cover that. Then we have the sort of the body parts. So there's a torso there with missing lower half of the leg and the feet and the arms and head. We've then got this pair of boots that looks like it's just been ripped off at the knees, as if it's been hit by a car or something, and you see the kind of cartoon feet left behind. And then last of all, we've got that little piece of torso there as well. And again, these do have flat backs to them, so they sit really well on your game board. Okay, folks, so that's it. City Scenics, corpses and body parts from TT Combat. I'm pretty sure I paid $5.99 for them. Check it out on the website. I'll drop a link to their website below, but certainly would add a little bit of scatter terrain to your Walking Dead games. I'll get these painted up and get them involved in a gameplay video soon. Thanks for watching, folks. See you in the next video.